Hey everyone, my name is Rosie and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very special and very exciting video. We are doing another collab with Leah from Flanzella. Leah and I did a collab earlier this year where we sent each other packs of images and made collages using only the images that the other person had sent us. It was so much fun. But today we are doing thrift flips. So we both went to the thrift store and looked around for items that we could collage onto or inside of, or collage with, and we packed those items up and shipped them to each other. On my trip to the thrift store, I had a couple ideas of what to get, but also wanted to be open to whatever I ran into. I didn't end up finding one perfect object, so I opted for a few smaller things that I hoped at least one would bring some inspiration to Leah. Leah had mentioned maybe wanting to make a piece on a vase, so I grabbed one of those. But I also found some ornament balls, a trifold picture frame with 6 picture slots that could house a mini series perhaps, and this cat sign that says, "We're staying together for the sake of the cat," which I thought was just too funny to pass up. I did really like the scalloped edge on this wood sign and thought it could be a cool frame for a piece if it was painted all one color. Don't forget to check out Leah's video after this one to see what she made with what I sent her. And now that we've found our perfect objects, they've been packaged up and have both landed safely in their new respective places, it is now the very exciting time in which I can open the package from Leah, because this thing has been staring me down for days and I'm very excited to see what's inside. Because, just wait, let me grab it. The package Leah sent me is so large. It is so incredibly large. It's not very heavy, but it is so large. I walked outside when it was delivered and stopped in my tracks, jaw on the ground, was shocked at how large it was. Because when I was hunting for things, I was sort of taking into account the fact that I was going to have to put the object into a box and ship it to Canada. So I was being mindful of the size of my object. And Leah must have found something really good because she went all the way to package it in a huge box. And she did tell me there's a lot of bubble wrap in here, so maybe it's fragile. But anyway, I've just been so excited to open this package up. So we have to dive in, we have to see what's inside, we have to see what we can make with it. So let's get into it. This is a very exciting moment, and this package doesn't even fit in my filming area, but we're gonna have to make do because we're gonna have to get it open, and I'm just dying to know what's inside. All right. It is finally time to get into this bad boy. Oh my goodness, what could this be? Okay, so much bubble wrap. Ooh, I think this might be a canvas. Oh no, wait, I think it's a tray. Wait, this is gonna be so cool. Look at that. This is cool. This is awesome. This is exciting. Let's read our note from Leah. So Leah said in her note when she was walking around the thrift store, she stopped dead in her tracks when she saw this. And I feel the exact same way when I opened the package, dead in my tracks. And we're gonna be able to put something really cool on this. Okay, now I know why the box is so big. This is really exciting. I need to take a minute, think about what we want to do, start looking through some images, but this is going to be really cool. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready, but let's do it anyway. You know what I just looked over and saw? Hold up. I just looked over and saw the burger and sandwich and pineapple people that I made. I started making in a video months ago and never finished it because I didn't know where to put these objects. But guess what is a huge canvas? And what would make total sense is putting our food people on the tray, which you theoretically could serve food on. Okay, but why do they fit so well? This is very funny that these 3 things that I made a couple months ago that don't have a home kind of fit with this tray that I got. It's kind of funny, but we're not gonna do this. I'm gonna put this back away and we're gonna make a new collage to go on this tray because we just have to. So let's do that. So my first thought before really kind of flipping into anything is I kind of like the idea of having some sort of fruits or vegetables or tea, something you would serve at a party on the tray. So I have this, I have a couple vegetable books. There's a couple more down here that I pulled out, but we could sort of look at that and pull out some of these vegetable pictures and have a collage of certain vegetables and fruits and something, so it's sort of like a platter of food. But then I was also thinking maybe it might be fun if we have some people walking throughout the sort of collage of fruits and vegetables and food and things. And so I have this What People Wore book that I got at a library book sale that has a bunch of black and white images of outfits and people who kind of look like they might be going to a party. They're fancily dressed. And so it might be fun if, this English lady is walking through like a giant pear and some strawberries. Like she's on her way to a party and there's tons of huge fruit and everything. If we just do the entire tray, a collage of people walking through food, it might be a really interesting look. It might be really fun. Because the other thing I'm thinking about, and this again is huge and doesn't really even fit in my filming area, is this is a large area to cover. And I'm not going to be able to find one background image that is going to fill the whole thing. So I'm going to have to do a sort of collage of little things to cover the entire area. So I think this might be a good way to go. So I'm going to start pulling out fruit and food images from those books and see if there's anything else that I want to add. The other stuff I pulled out is this is a collectibles book that has plates and cups in the middle, if I recall. And so I was thinking maybe we'd want to use, some dishes in the scene too. Here they are. So here's some bowls and some vases and cups and saucers. I was thinking maybe we want to add those types of things into the image, potentially, if we don't have enough food images. So I did pull that out. And then also I just have like a couple cookbooks that have some images in them, like a pie. This is all pictures with salads, barbecue things. These are 2 garden books with vegetables in them. So I was thinking those would be great. And then also I pulled out 2 mushroom books. I was thinking maybe we could throw some mushrooms in with the fruits and vegetables too. That might be a good way to go. So I think this might be everything that we need. I'm going to start first by pulling out just a bunch of vegetables and food and see if we have enough of those to work with, and then we'll get sort of our other elements going. Just imagine a little person walking through this scene. It might be fun to add, this type of condiment thing or this sort of tray also to our party platter. They might be nice additions, so I'm gonna pull them out. And maybe we'll add some of this funky Jell-O salad. I think there's a couple of those types of images in this book. That might be a nice addition. Also, I gotta check this, my binder of things I've cut out before, and see if there are any food items in here. Here are some strawberries. We're gonna need those. Come on. Ooh, okay, we got some things here. The cake. I don't think the fries are quite right, but I like the cake. Maybe we want to add this, and we can cover up these areas with, yeah, let's pull these two. Okay, I think that might be it from here. All right, I think we might have enough food options. I pulled quite a bit of a lot of things just because of how big of a tray we have to cover. So I wanted sort of lots of options, lots of things we could layer. Now starts the incredibly tedious task of cutting all of these images out, and we haven't even talked about the people we're gonna add to this. So I'm gonna put on a podcast and just start cutting stuff out. All right, I got lots of things cut out. We have lots of foods to play with. So I'm gonna just start arranging things and layering and seeing if I feel like we have enough before we look at the people that we're gonna add. So I'm gonna just start maybe with the bigger things, see where those wanna fit, and then we'll fit the smaller items in between. Man, I am not sure we're gonna have enough food, which is kind of a bummer because I feel like I cut a lot of food out. I actually think that we're pretty good on the size. What I would love to find is a couple bigger images like the ones I have down here, just to be in the background back here to cover up some of this area. But they don't have to be good images because I'm gonna cover up most of it with other fruits and vegetables and other food. So they don't have to be good images, but just something that has, a couple of fruits in it. So I mentioned before that I want to try to add some people from this What People Wore book who have, interesting outfits, and I can try to integrate them into the scene. But what I think I want to focus on when pulling people out of this book are people who have kind of an interesting pose. Maybe their hand is up and I can put a food in their hand, or they're kind of looking down at the food, or better yet, if they are, gonna eat something, or just an interesting pose where I could maybe have them be interacting with the food in some sort of way and not just them standing there as a pose. The good thing is, as I'm already looking at this first couple pages, it does seem like there are some interesting poses throughout this book. So I think I'll be able to find some great ones, but I just wanted to mention that I'm going to be focusing sort of on that as I pull people out, so that when I do add them into the scene, the interactions that they're having with the food are more interesting than them just standing there. So I'm gonna hunt for some people from that book to add to the scene. But I think in terms of vegetables and food and everything, we have a good amount. I think we have enough to fill the tray. So I think that we're in a good place with this. Now we just need to add some people. So to help myself out a little bit, I did end up taping out a border that is the same size as the tray, just so I have a better idea of the size and I can really make sure I have enough coverage with the images I have, because I think I might need one or two more, but we'll see now that we have all this mapped out. And I'm sorry that it's a little bit off center. That's probably gonna bug someone, or maybe you didn't notice it until I pointed it out and now it's really gonna bug you, but that's okay. We can move past it. It won't be here for long. I just really need to have a better idea of if I have enough images. And then we still have to add our people in and have them interacting with the scene. That's going to be a really fun part. So let's make sure we have enough background images. So after collecting so many food images and doing a more diligent job of measuring my space, I discovered I still needed even more food. I ended up finding a pile of burgers, plate of cinnamon buns, and another weird salad that I could add to the scene. And then it was finally time to pair our people with some fun fruits. I decided to pair a piece of food with each of my tray guests because I thought that was the most fun way to get them to really interact with the scene. And then the process of finding each of them a home in this endless array of food was probably my favorite part of this entire process. It's where the piece really started to show its personality and where it all started to really come together. Now we're really close to being able to glue everything together, but I first had to go around and cut off the edges around all of the images so we had a really straight edge that can go right inside the tray. There is no trimming once things are glued down into the tray, so we had to do this step first. All right, I think I'm ready to start gluing. I'm very nervous. I'm very scared. This is the biggest, most complicated collage I've ever made. I've made a couple other complicated ones in the past, but none of them compared to this. And we're gluing to a thing I've never glued to before. I'm gonna kind of just start and hopefully it will go well. I am going to be trying out this golden matte medium today. I did some research about what kind of glue I should use for the tray and for images. And I also messaged Leah and got her advice, and I think that this is going to be the way to go. I also have some paintbrushes here that I can use for glue, which will be helpful. Also, my filming area is definitely not kind of large enough for both things, because I think what I'm going to do is keep my images over here on one side and the tray on the other side, and then I can sort of just transfer things and have a good template and reference of where things are supposed to go for the most part. But this is a very complicated process, a very complicated glue. I'll see you on the other side. What did I get myself into? Okay, let's start with some of the background things. Like this goes very in the back and very in the corner. It should probably get trimmed on this side too. See, I know I'm gonna forget some areas, but this should be trimmed probably a little bit here so it can fit right in the corner. Let's chat about the glue process I ended up using for this that went surprisingly well. First, I laid down a layer of glue on the tray itself in a section that was just big enough for the image I was gluing down. And then I put a layer of glue on the back of the image and then put that image down so we had glue going on glue. And then on top of all of that, I put another layer of glue to really seal it all in. And then I took an old card and used that to make sure my images were laying down well and to get out any air bubbles and overall get a flat top glue layer. And then I repeated that process about 100 times for every image I needed to glue down, and then we were finally ready to show Leah our finished result.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm so excited for this. I'm very excited to see what you made, show you what I made. This was a really fun challenge. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like this is one of the most challenging things I've probably ever done like for art because it's like making
Yeah.
things 3D in some way, right? And that sort of thing. And like taking a new object and making it something completely
Yep.
different. So yeah, I
Oh,
think this is amazing. I'm so excited to see what you did as well.
yeah, 100%. This was honestly probably the most complicated, biggest collage I've ever done. So it was like really hard to do, but I'm like so happy with how it turned out. And it was just like a great challenge. All right, do you want to jump into it? I'm ready
Yeah,
to
I'm
share.
ready to jump into it. Okay. I'll
Okay.
look at yours first.
And also share it here. Just
Yeah, definitely.
I ended up making this giant food collage because it was a tray. So I was kind of wanted to stick with that theme of, stuff you might put on a tray. So a bunch of food, fruits and vegetables, some desserts, and then I have some hidden people, holding pieces of vegetables and fruits and staring at the cake and just ended up making this really giant scene.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's so amazing. And I love the idea that it's like food now, you can serve food on food, basically, like something like that. Or even like hang it in your kitchen would be super cool, like on the wall or something. It almost shows
Mhm.
like, it's like repurposing a piece, I think would be really cool. And it's almost reminding me, I think you have in a video where you were like doing a picnic scene. You were going to do a picnic scene with like, and you're like, I wish I had a bunch of food or something. I feel like it's reminding me of that for sure. Like it definitely has that same look and feel.
Yeah. I also really love that I found black and white people. So they contrast really well with the food. So they're hidden in there, but not too hidden because they stand out because of that. There's so many pieces to this. I spent so long cutting things out, but it really needed to be sort of this like grand moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so incredible. How long do you think you spent cutting out the pieces? Like there's got to be like what 100 pieces in this. It's so
There's
crazy.
a there's a lot. So usually I finish my collages in a day. Usually, sometimes I glue like the next day. It's mostly around a day. This took me 3 days
Oh
to
my
do.
goodness. I'm not surprised at all. It's massive. And even like sourcing that many different things that look like similar
Mhm.
is really challenging.
It sure is, yeah. But it ended up being great. And the glue I ended up using worked great. There's not a wrinkle in sight. It's
Yeah,
flawless. And so I'm like so happy with that. Because when you're doing a big thing, sometimes you never quite know how the gluing process is going to go, but it ended up
definitely.
going really well.
Yeah, it's so incredible. And I love like it's very like whimsical too, right? And like feels like, yeah, it just feels like a storybook or something, like something's waiting to happen on it, which I love.
Yeah,
Very cool.
very fun.
And yeah, I loved like the little picnic baskets and everything too. And
Yeah.
even using like the pie in the background is like a nice contrast for everything.
Yeah. No, there's so many hidden things. You could stare at this for so long and see a new thing every time.
Yeah,
It's always really fun in a
it's
piece.
reminding me of like an I Spy page as well
Mhm.
type thing with like all the different things.
Yep. Oh, totally. It could definitely be, spot 7 hamburgers.
Yeah, yeah, literally. So crazy. It's so cool. Well, congratulations on doing that. Oh my goodness. That's like a huge
Oh, thank
challenge.
you. And thanks for finding such a cool thing. I opened it and was like, oh my God, this is perfect. I love it.
I literally saw it and I was like kind of stumped. I was having like a big day of like looking and I was looking through like everything and I was like, nothing here is like the thing. And then like all of a sudden I was like walking down an aisle and I was like, what is that? And I like literally just like ran to it. There was another person coming and I was like, do not touch that. I was like, I need that.
That
That's
is
mine.
mine.
Yeah. I just like literally grabbed it immediately and I was like, yeah, this is 100% perfect. And I knew it was big, but I was like, I think it's like the perfect size for something that's a little bit too big, right? Like what is it, like maybe 2 feet absolute max? And like
Yeah.
it's like a good size. But yeah, it's not like too big where it's like, oh my gosh, like definitely can't do this, right?
Right.
So
It was
yeah.
just like a little bit smaller than my cutting mat, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to use that as a guide. I was like, I pretty much just have to fill up this entire thing
That's so
and then
funny.
I'm good.
That's amazing. I love that.
All right. I am excited to see what you made.
I'm very excited to see well, show you what I've made.
Oh my goodness. Wait.
Show it here too.
Oh my God. This is so cool. We did such a great job. I'm so happy and so thrilled with how this turned out. And thanks again for doing another collab with me. It's always so fun.
Yeah, this is amazing. It's always so fun to do it. And, it's always a nice challenge. We get to do something different. And yeah, just thank you for, doing this and suggesting it. And so glad like everything turned out so well.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, this was so exciting. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
And here are some final shots of the tray transformation. This piece had so many images in it and was so complicated to put together and to glue, but I'm so incredibly happy with the result, and I definitely would not have picked out something this large for myself, so I'm so glad that Leah sent this to me. It was the perfect challenge. Thanks again to Leah for doing this collab with me, and don't forget to check out her video to see what she made with what I sent her. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!